Welcome along then to the magnificent Suzuka International Circuit, a stone's throw away from Ise Bay in the beautiful Japanese countryside. What surprises lie in wait for us today at the Japanese Grand Prix? A lap of this historic racetrack covers 3.6 miles. It's the only time during the season that we race on a figure-of-8 circuit. And the drivers can expect some intense G-forces through the 18 corners on offer here as they experience some of the highest average apex speeds on the Formula One calendar. Keep an eye on overtakes into the final chicane. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Grim Reaper lines up on pole position, and Lando Norris lines up alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Verstappen, Fernando Alonso, Perez, Sainz, Leclerc, Oscar Piastri, Gasly, Ocon, Hamilton, Albon, Stroll, Zhou, Tsunoda, Hülkenberg, Bottas, Magnussen, Ricciardo, and Logan Sargent. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. Anthony Davidson also joins me in the commentary box today. Let's talk about Grim Reaper. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
It's been a really solid year so far. There have been some incredible standout performances, but what's really impressed me has been the consistency. With this kind of form, I'm expecting another great race today.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down. job. That was the fastest lap of the race so far. Behind is 5.1 seconds. Approaching the pit window and you're going to be on mediums. gap in this lap. Push now. Okay, go, go, go. Good job from you and the crew there, mate. We're satisfied with that. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. Okay, Lewis is in for his stop. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 2.8 seconds. fastest lap of the race. Caution, caution. Okay, clear. started the final lap of the race. Final lap. 5 laps of fuel remaining.
Thank you so much. You've been great all weekend. To everyone back in the factory, on the pit wall, you've been amazing.
Oh, superb driving. That is the race win, my friend. Well done.
Not just victory today then, but the championship as well. What a spectacular season they've had. Congratulations to the whole team. And talk to me. What do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners.